In 2020, they voted my game the worst video game release in the world. Main issues, sky-high rate of bugs, and more crashes than any other video game. Can't deny it, it's all true, but everybody fell for the fancy trailers.
Google, show me this guy's balls, please.
The devs always have a promise for you. Might be a lie, an illusion, but it's most likely not there. Just around the corner. And it keeps you going. January 2013, the CD Projekt Red YouTube channel released a trailer for their new upcoming project, Cyberpunk 2077. A game boasting a sci-fi RPG experience with insane depth and detail. The trailer captivated the developer's already large audience due to the success of the Witcher series. Many compared the project to a Grand Theft Auto set in the future, where you could not only use weapons, but be the weapon with enhanced cybernetics and augments. Following the trailer, there was not much said about the game, but fans eagerly waited for a new snippet of information. But for a while, nothing came. June 2018, the E3 event. During the Microsoft press conference, something nobody saw appeared.
Have a great...
I'm gonna throw up.
A new trailer. Oh my god. It's perfect. A brand new teaser along with 45 minutes of gameplay footage, strong RPG elements, NPC daily routines, and amazing AI.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are...
And quest decisions that reflect onto the game world? That Todd Howard with his 16 times the detail.
16 times the detail.
Witness everything you could ever want in a trailer and video game. Fallout 76 sucked anyways. Cyberpunk wouldn't, of course. Winning over 100 awards just for the trailer alone, the hype was unreal. There was one problem though. There was no release date, so there's no telling how long it would take, but the fans would wait. For now. June 2019. As the audience wiggled into their seats, anxious with excitement, the CG Projekt Red logo flashed on the screen. Well, hey, this is a really cool trailer. Okay. What the fuck is that, Keanu Reeves? Oh my god, fucking Keanu Reeves!
Walking the streets of the future is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking!
And with that, the game was announced. Following the insanely popular announcement, anticipation only grew. Memes were created, shrines were built. As the days flew by, April finally arrived. A Twitter notification could be heard from the phones of eager fans. There wasn't any news on the release, it was a delay. A delay for the 17th of September. Everybody was quite understandably annoyed, but this could only mean that it was going to be even more worth the wait. And at least it was still being released in the same year. It was only going to take a couple months for CG Projekt Red to cook. So, everyone put their torches and pitchforks down, and gave CG Projekt Red the benefit of the doubt. Because they surely wouldn't overpromise, rush, and release a hollow shell of a game. And with that, 6 months later, it was delayed again. Okay, this is infuriating and concerning. The game is so far behind that they need a second delay. They didn't outright say that, but that's the impression many were getting. People began to worry. What if Cyberpunk wasn't what they hoped for? What if behind the scenes everything was going horrifically wrong? Well, that's just pessimistic thinking. There's no way that such a funded and widely supported product could ever flop. Right? Days whittled by, as fans anxiously waited, hoping not to see the sad yellow screenshot with text on it, only to tell them that their game was never coming. But then, it happened. Again. Yes, I'm not joking, they delayed it a third time. Fans have had enough.
Or are you gonna be on my fucking time?
I'm gonna be on your time.
What does that say?
Many memes cropped up about the extraordinary wait time, and the possibility that we were going to be all in our 50s when the game's released. The doubts which were already instilled in the community were only exacerbated. Many gamers prayed to the heavens and said, please, let this be good. The expectation grew along with the wait time. Everybody began not to get their hopes up about the game being released in the same year. As December came, it was released. Cyberpunk is officially the worst video game release of all time. Remember all those amazing promised features in those trailers? Well, good luck finding them, buddy, because they aren't there. The game was in a purgatory so that it was completely unplayable and just controllable chaos. It was like walking around in a hurricane of objects phasing through each other and the laws of physics being tossed into the gutter. Now, before we continue, imagine this. You are a developer for CD Projekt Red. As you work on one of your most anticipated video games of all time, you realise something. You only began work on this project 4 years following the initial teaser in 2017, and the game isn't even a quarter of way baked yet. As the hype for the game grew, so did the insurmountable expectations of the producers and fans did as well. Every trailer and false promise was just adding on to the eventual disappointment, like adding an extra minute onto the doomsday clock. And as the promised release date arrives, after inhumane crunch hours, you realise you need to have a whole year to create only half of the final product. And you can't do that because announcing a whole year delay is like telling the fans to stick their support up there. So, you do a 6-month delay, and realise it's still not enough. This game was delayed a grand total of 3 times. And let's be honest, the fact that they managed to get producers and impatient investors to agree to those terms is quite impressive considering the equivalent is like playing Russian roulette with 5 bullets in the chamber. What I'm trying to say is that Cyberpunk was in desperate need of more time. But because of the position CD Projekt Red put themselves in, they could have never released a game in a better state. But it was all for nothing because, in the end, they released something that was barely what was promised. And even through months and years of updates, the game became functional and enjoyable. Not what was promised yet, but it was finally good. And nobody cared. Like some intelligent guy once said, a good game is forever good, and a rushed game is forever bad. Years following the release of Cyberpunk, an odd announcement was made. An announcement for a Netflix original. Well, despite of the game's glaring issues, its story was actually quite good. And exclusively making something focused on the many untold stories of Night City seems like a really interesting idea. Interesting, yes, but will it even work? Will it even be worth the fans' wounded sense of trust with CG Projekt Red? We would just need to wait and see. Before I say anything, this show is simply a masterpiece. Its writing, its characters, its animation. It is all every other gaming-derived piece of media's dream. And this is coming from me! I never watch anime. The closest thing is Dragon Ball or Baki. Trying to get me to watch anything else is trying to teach French to a monkey. Despite that, I genuinely loved this show. The dynamics of the main gang and their clashing ideals as people who survive by turning to crime in a world that doesn't allow for any other option. The setting of Night City no longer became a backdrop for sci-fi magic, but it became its own character, along with the filth that stemmed from it. The detailed exploration of grief, isolation, love, pain and acceptance. The pure emotion exuded by this show is so natural. Everything relays for the audience so seamlessly. This is your cue to go watch it, by the way. Because if you were expecting an in-depth analysis of the whole story bit by bit, and pseudo-intellectually overlooking the many brilliant features of the show, then chalking the whole thing up to my own lazy explanation, then you're wrong. Because you need to watch it yourself. Because you don't need to be shepherded in a direction. So you know how to feel about the show, after being in desperate need of some closure after an unbelievably depressing ending. Which I won't be spoiling, by the way, but it gets fucking sad. It's raw. It's visceral. It doesn't need to be dissected or prodded at to understand it. It's just an amazing story. It was not only a success, it was a second chance.
Holy look at all this damage! And we're gonna repair it using Cyberpunk 2.0 and Phantom Library update.
The show didn't only seem to redeem CG Projekt Red, it ignited the once unrelenting love for Cyberpunk.